Hello, students. Here's my sidekick, Kelton, and Cameron, my other sidekick. They're going to help me. Aren't you boys? Going to help me teach Caesar today? Julius Caesar?
I mean, basically, I think what you should do is, give everyone an A, because then you'll be their favorite teacher. Just for no reason. Give them all an A.
He's not your sidekick, Mom. He's your class's sidekick.
Yeah, no doubt.
Watch this video if you agree with me, okay? Just do it.
Good thinking, Cameron. All A's all around. That's great. I think that's kind of what this whole complete, incomplete thing kind of is. Am I right? Anyway, okay, so we are going to go ahead and finish Act 2 with Scene 3 and 4. We're going to listen to these together. I think they're about 3 minutes total. So they're really short. Okay, so we are on page 855 in your textbook, so turn to 855. And I'm going to go ahead and get this started.
Caesar, beware of Brutus. Caesar, beware of Brutus.
Uh-oh.
Take heed.
Hang on just a second. So I want to just mention, Scene 3 happens in a street near the Capitol, and we have this guy, Artemidorus. We don't know him, haven't seen him yet, but he has he's written a note to Caesar. He's reading his note out loud, so we hear what his note says. That's why he just said, Caesar, beware Brutus. That's what his note says.
Of Cassius, come not near Casca. Have an eye to Cinna. Trust not Trebonius. Mark well Metellus Cimber. Decius Brutus loves thee not. Thou hast wronged Caius Ligarius. There is but one mind in all these men, and it is bent against Caesar. If thou be'st not immortal, look about you. Security gives way to conspiracy. The mighty gods defend thee, thy lover, Artemidorus. Here will I stand till Caesar pass along, and as a suitor will I give him this. My heart laments that virtue cannot live out of the teeth of emulation. If thou read this, O Caesar, thou mayest live. If not, the fates with traitors do contrive.
Okay, so Artemidorus has this note, and it says, man, beware Brutus, take heed of Cassius, don't go near Casca, don't set your eyes on Cinna or Trebonius, mark well Metellus Cimber. It names all of the conspirators, and it says, Caesar, beware, these guys are bad, they are not your friends. Wow. And it says, all of these men are against you, Caesar. If you're not immortal, that means if you can die, you need to be aware of these men. You need to be afraid of these men. He says, let the gods defend you. And then he says, a person who loves you, love Artemidorus. Okay? And he's like, I'm just going to wait here outside the Senate and wait for Caesar to pass by. And whenever he passes by, I'm going to give this note to him and say, Caesar, you have to read this. It's really important, buddy. So let's see what happens. I wonder if he'll read it. Okay, now on to Act 2, Scene 4. This is in a different part of the street. We actually have Portia. Remember, she is Brutus's wife. She really wanted him to tell her what was going on. He never did. Remember, there was a knock at the door, so she never heard about what was going on. But she's got a bad feeling about what's up. So she's talking to Lucius, their servant, and trying to get him to help her out.
I prithee, boy, run to the Senate house. Stay not to answer me, but get thee gone. Why dost thou stay?
To know my errand, madam.
I would have had thee there and here again ere I can tell thee what thou shouldst do there. Oh, constancy be strong upon my side. Set a huge mountain between my heart and tongue. I have a man's mind, but a woman's might. How hard it is for women to keep counsel. Art thou here yet?
Madam, what should I do? Run to the capital and nothing else, and so return to you and nothing else?
Yes, bring me word, boy, if thy lord look well, for he went sickly forth. And take good note what Caesar doth, what suitors press to him. Hark, boy, what noise is that?
I hear none, madam.
Prithee, listen well. heard a bustling rumor like a fray, and the wind brings it from the capital.
Sooth, madam, I hear nothing.
Okay, let's pause for just a second. So Portia has Lucius, and she's asking him to go to the Capitol where Brutus and all of the conspirators, the senators, have gone. And she wants Lucius to just kind of listen, keep his ears open, see if anything's going on. She doesn't really know what to expect. She knows there's a problem. Brutus is worried about something. So she feels like something is amiss, something is wrong. She has no idea what that is. That would be terrible. Okay, so she has some pretty strong anxiety right now. She doesn't know where it's coming from. She doesn't know what's causing it. So she says, Lucius, just go to the Capitol, keep your eyes and your ears open, pay attention, let me know who Brutus is talking to, who comes up to him, let me know all the stuff. And then she says, constancy be on my side, set a huge mountain between my heart and my tongue. I have a man's mind, but a woman's might. How hard it is for women to keep counsel. So she's saying, man, I want to talk to somebody. Oh my gosh, this is like something's going on with Brutus. I need to tell somebody about this. But I need to keep this a secret too. Oh my gosh, life is hard. Now, first of all, she's kind of saying it's hard for girls to keep secrets. I beg to differ. I know a lot of females who are great at keeping secrets. I know a lot of gentlemen who are not great at keeping secrets. So I don't think that's a gendered thing. I think either we're good at keeping our mouth shut or we're not. Oopsie. And there are definitely times whenever you need to kind of keep your own counsel. You need to not tell the things that you know about. Maybe you overheard a conversation. Maybe you're privy to some private information. You don't want to share that with other people. But then there are also times, maybe somebody's in trouble and you need to seek counsel. Maybe you have a friend who's having a pretty rough time. Maybe you need to tell somebody. You need to tell maybe a teacher. You need to tell a parent. You need to let somebody know that somebody needs help. So we really have to be cautious about this idea of secrets and what secrets are important to keep and when it's maybe something that we should share. So Portia is trying to think, do I tell? Do I keep this to myself? Well, she's just going to have Lucius go to the Capitol, listen up, see if he can figure out anything from what's going on. Now let's see what happens. She's hearing some stuff in the crowd.
Come hither, fellow. Which way hast thou been?
At mine own house, good lady.
What is the clock?
About the 9th hour, lady.
Is Caesar yet gone to the capital?
Madam, not yet. I go to take my stand to see him pass on to the capital.
Thou hast some suit to Caesar, hast thou not?
That I have, lady. If it will please Caesar to be so good to Caesar as to hear me, I shall beseech him to befriend himself.
Why, knowest thou any harms intended towards him?
None that I know will be, much that I fear may chance. Good morrow to you. Here the street is narrow. The throng that follows Caesar at the heels of senators, of praetors, common suitors, will crowd a feeble man almost to death. I'll get me to a place more void, and there speak to great Caesar as he comes along.
I must go in. Ay me, how weak a thing the heart of woman is. Oh, Brutus, the heavens speed thee in thine enterprise. Sure, the boy heard me. Brutus hath a suit that Caesar will not grant. Oh, I grow faint. Run, Lucius, and commend me to my lord. Say I am merry. Come to me again, and bring me word what he doth say to thee.
Okay, so Portia talks to the soothsayer. If you remember, the soothsayer was in Act 1. The soothsayer is the person who saw Caesar at the race that Mark Antony was participating in, and the soothsayer was like, beware the Ides of March, like saying all this kind of scary, creepy stuff, which is kind of weird. And so the soothsayer says, I have an important suit for Caesar. A suit is a petition. If you remember, we know this word from, if you remember the Odyssey last year, the suitors who were interested in Penelope in the second part of the Odyssey, they thought that she was basically a widow and she'd get remarried, and they're suitors. They're applying to be her husband. They're petitioning to be her husband. So in the same way, if a person is a suitor for somebody to marry, they are petitioning to marry that person. In the same way that if we are petitioning about something, we are applying a suit towards something. We're petitioning, okay? So the soothsayer, a request. A suit is a request. So the soothsayer has a request, and he basically says, yeah, I need to talk to Caesar. I shall beseech him to befriend himself. So the soothsayer is saying, well, my suit, my information I need to give to Caesar is that he needs to be his own friend. Because remember, the soothsayer is saying, don't go to the capital on the Ides of March. You know what today is in Caesar world? The Ides of March. So the soothsayer is going to need to tell him, like, hey, buddy, don't walk in that building. This is bad. Bad things are happening today. Go home. Go home. Get back in bed. Start again tomorrow. Better. And Portia is like, oh, well, the soothsayer's worked up. Like, I'm worked up. I don't even know. Like, life is crazy. So she's really kind of worried. She's standing there. She's like, oh, gosh. Oh, I'm so nervous. I have so much anxiety. She says, ah, me. How weak a thing the heart of woman is. I don't love that line because I think it implies that women are weak-hearted. I think that's absolutely wrong. I don't think... She's talking about like the idea of showing anxiety, showing nervousness. Think in today's world, we have so much anxiety. Think in this whole like COVID-19 situation. A lot of anxiety going on, right? So that doesn't show weakness. There are reasons people are nervous. People are getting sick. People are dying. There's a reason to be nervous. There's a reason to have a bit of anxiety. So just because you have anxiety or just because you're nervous doesn't mean you're weak. That's silly. But sometimes this was an idea that they kind of gendered in some way. You know, men go off to war, and as they're marching out of the city, they look really strong. They have their spears, their shields, and they're like, rah! Probably they're scared. Once the battle actually starts, I bet it's nerve-wracking. I have never personally been in battle, so I can't vouch for that, but I imagine that at the point that people are in fact in front of you and they are dying and it's possible that you may die, I bet you have anxiety and I bet you get nervous. So it's not that men are less nervous or have less anxiety, but we see them marching away from the city into battle and they look pretty strong. And women never see the men back in this era on the battlefield, so they don't know how they actually act on the battlefield, right? They just hear about the end result, if people won or people didn't. So she's kind of talking about, oh, I feel so weak. I have so much anxiety. I feel so much concern and worry. Man, that's okay. It's okay, Portia. You should be concerned because there's kind of a big thing that's about to happen, and it's going to entirely change the course of your country's history for a really long time. So Portia, man, you're not weak. You're feeling anxiety about something that's pretty real. And it's really too bad that your husband Brutus didn't listen to you. Whew. All right, that is all of Act 2. Next week is Act 3, and things get crazy. I'm not even joking. I'm gonna put the video on of the movie with Act 2. I want you to watch that part. But man, things are heating up. Next week is going to be crazy. Okay, so hope you're enjoying all the kind of political intrigue. Hope you're enjoying some of the real life kind of questions. Man, these people are dealing with anxiety. They're dealing with manipulation. They're dealing with like, should this person be a leader? Should this person not be a leader? That's a question people are asking every day in our country. So like, this is all so applicable to every day of life. That's one reason, again, Shakespeare's plays stand the test of time. They're awesome. Because they're about things that we can relate to, even today in 2020. It's pretty crazy. See ya.